They don't like real estate agents, but they keep bringing in more of them. They continue to bring in people they don't even like because we're not satisfying their needs. Well, one of the reasons we're not is because we've actually been told, think of a listing presentation as an interview. 92% of everybody who's interviewed does not get hired. Never think of a listing as an interview. You've got the position, you've got the marketing, you're just customizing the details. Now, how does a listing agent differ than a marketing agent? A listing agent goes to a property, and the first thing they do when they drive up to the home, get a load of this. What do you think is the first thing they do when they drive up? They actually go right to the door. Because obviously the home is inconsequential. It's like if you brought your dog to a kennel and the owner of the kennel met you and didn't even look at your dog or pet it, you drive away and say, I better go back. We actually have 98% of agents who will get out of their car and actually go right to the door. It's like it's an afterthought. A marketing agent, of course, can't resist looking to get marketing ideas and absorb the aspects of the property. When a listing agent gets into the property, here's what they're going to say to a homeowner. Why don't you show me the property the way you show it to a buyer? Do you think they still do that? Well, why don't we take it? See, a marketing agent is going to say, why don't we do a pre-marketing evaluation tour of your property so together we can start identifying the amenities that will give us the greatest marketing advantage. Is that better? That's not how we've been focused. When a listing agent tours the property and they go to sit down, guess what they do when they sit down? They remain seated. A marketing agent can't contain himself. A marketing agent has to say to the homeowners, hey folks, can I go take another look at the family room? Do you mind if I go take another look at the patio? I can't contain myself. Your home is so irresistible because a marketing agent knows that before they arrive, the homeowner said things to each other like this. Let's not sign anything tonight. We've got a friend in the business. Let's not make a decision. They create a consumer covenant. There's a seller's pact that they agree to. A listing agent isn't even thinking like this because it's all about them. A marketing agent knows they've got to remove themselves so the homeowners privately can say, I like this guy. So they'll release each other from their agreement. Am I making sense? For 99% of people, that's not how listing agents think in terms of that. A listing agent's been trained to have a canned opening. Have you ever heard this one? I want to help you get the best price in the shortest period of time with the least inconvenience. See, that's dreadful, and I'll tell you why. Because even though it's congruent with homeowner interest, it's imposing your will. It's saying to people, sit back and shut up. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get. People don't like that. They have control resistance. What's even worse is that we have listing agents trained for years to say this. Folks, how are you going to be selecting an agent? Will you be selecting an agent based on who will tell you anything you want to hear? Or will you be selecting an agent who's going to tell you the truth? Has anyone ever heard that technique? May I see your hands? What other profession would sink that low? Can you imagine a doctor saying to somebody, how are you going to be selecting a doctor? Will you be basing your decision on the doctor who lies the most to you? No one would ever even go there. And then we wonder why we're 23 out of 23 in Harris polls for respect, because it's a listing mindset, because listings are the, so we make listing presentations as opposed to customized marketing proposals. Now, what's the difference? A marketing agent, see, and basically what the agent is saying to the homeowner is this. Like, how are you going to select an agent based on this or that? They're basically saying, Maria, I know you're moving, you're traumatized, you may be going through a divorce, but that doesn't matter to me. Because we first have to resolve my problems. I may not get this listing. So before we can even begin to get into your issues, you've got to help me resolve my issues. We've got to talk about my worry about competitors. How are you going to deal with my competitors? See, because it's all about us, and that's why they don't get every single listing they go after. Here's what a marketing agent is going to say. A marketing agent is going to say, Julie, I'd like to begin by asking you a very basic question. What do you expect from the agent who's going to market and sell your home? See, you can't control your competitors, can you? But can you control the marketing? So that's the question you always ask. Then when they tell you, is there anything else? Then they're going to give the list. You never resist what they say that they want, because it's just like Santa Claus asking a kid, what do you want for Christmas? No matter what the kid says, Santa doesn't know, you're not going to get that, forget that. Later on, the kid finds out. The homeowner will find out that evening. But anytime you show resistance to what they want, you're basically violating your consultative spirit intent. Asking that question, what do they expect? It does three things. First of all, it manifests a consultative spirit of intent. Number two, it gives you control in a good sense. And the other thing is it demonstrates confidence, because only a very confident person is going to ask people, what do they expect? Because most people aren't going to do that. And that's going to give you confidence. See, Mike Ferry years ago dedicated this book to me. And I was at one of his conferences, and he said something that always stuck with me. He asked the audience, 3,000 people, this question. He spent about an hour on the answer. What's the most important skill in getting listings? Your presentation, prospecting, and closing. They all divided a third. He says, no, it's the presentation. And I'll say this to you. If you believe you could get every single listing you ever made a presentation for, would you prospect more? You'd kick doors down. So you've got to first develop a mindset that it's impossible to be said no to. And it is impossible if you involve people the right way. I used to say this to home sellers, and I knew no agent was doing this, because agents were telling homeowners after they get the listing, oh, by the way, when buyers are coming to the property, it's advisable that you're not here, because they want to take psychic ownership, they want to linger. Sometimes there could be criticism, and also they may have, what they say may be seen as excessively subjective, so I recommend that you're not here when they come home. But they never use that idea to get a listing. Here's how you use it to get a listing. Maria, most real estate agents are going to tell you that you shouldn't be here to buyers, but every once in a while I meet with certain homeowners that if there's any way, Maria, that you could make yourself available with advance notice with certain buyers right from the very beginning, I think that could be a monumental asset for us, and it could really tip the scale. So with advance notice, Maria, with certain buyers, would you be willing to meet with them right from the beginning, Maria? Now, Maria's all smiles because it feels good, doesn't it? People can't say no to that. They're not going to say, yes, I'll be available. Now, what percentage of agents use that point to get a listing? Because they're not thinking of the needs of people. People love their home. They want to stay there. They go after an expired, they've been being told for 6 months, yeah, I hate to do this to you. I know it's short notice, but my buyer's going back to the airport. Can you get lost, okay? And they're frustrated. And now they're hearing somebody, because I don't think that any real estate agent will have as much in common with you as the buyers of your lifestyle. And we need to make that connection. I'm not going to get commission disputes or other agents. Are you kidding me? Now, the next point is this. After you ask people what do they expect, you then want to say this to them. With all due respect, you're not expecting enough. You're not asking for enough. All you're talking about is traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is no longer enough in today's marketplace.